We really love cucumbers. We like putting them in salads. I make pickles out of them. And this year, I'm on my third crop of cucumbers. That's right, 3 generations and 1 growing season. I'm going to show you what I've done, what they look like, and stick around. Cucumbers are one of those vegetables that grows pretty quickly, about 55 days from planting to harvest. I started some inside back in February and I brought them out to the garden in March. So let me tell you about my growing zone here. I'm in Northwest Florida and our last freeze is about March 1st, give or take a little bit there. So I had my first batch of these Fairy Morse pickling cucumbers. This isn't really my go-to brand of seeds, but I had these. I really use the seeds from M.I. Gardner most of the time, and I'll put you a link down below to those folks because they're really good. And M.I. Gardner has a great YouTube channel to teach you how to grow everything in your garden. I got my first cucumbers in the ground, as I said, in March, and they are just about gone right now. It's not much to look at now, but this was the first planting of the cucumbers. I haven't kept the weeds out as well as I should have, but it was a great producer and it's really gone now. So I'll be pulling these plants up real soon and doing something else with this bed. Out of that first planting of these pickling cucumbers, I pickled about 16 jars of bread and butter pickles, and they turned out great. Of course, we had a lot for salads. We almost always had a bowl of cucumbers and onions in the refrigerator ready to add to any meal that we had. In late May, I got the second crop in. I direct planted these seeds in the ground. It's the same variety, the pickling cucumber, and the bed is completely full of the plant now, and we have harvested 6 or 8 cucumbers, but it's just loaded with these blooms. It's going to be a tremendous crop, I think, here in another week. Can you see all those blooms in there? It is just really loaded. And I'm fortunate to have a great bunch of pollinators here. I've got honeybees, I've got bumblebees, there's wasps here that come in occasionally to do pollination. So I think we're going to get a great crop here. Now these grew mostly in the June, July time frame. Today is, I think, July the 22nd, and wow, they're just looking so good. Now the key to your garden, as you're going to hear in every video, is going to be compost. Compost, compost. And I'm really fortunate to have a great source for compost. My local utility authority here takes in clippings and trash and trimmings from trees and all of that. And they run a compost service where you can buy it directly from them. And it's really cheap. A cubic yard of compost runs about $10, and to give you a feel for how big a cubic yard is, it's about 600 or 700 pounds of compost. Now my third planting of cucumbers is a different cucumber. This is the Straight 8, and these seeds came from M.I. Gardner. I started them in June, and they went in the ground July 1st. And here in Florida or anywhere in the South, the real struggle is this time of the year, midsummer, the plants just take such a beating from the sun. You can see here it's about 9:30 in the morning. Our days have been running in the 90-degree temperatures with off and on rain showers. First plant you can see over here on the left is already starting to wilt, and it's a struggle. I'm not sure how well these are going to do, but I've got a trellis in place, and these Straight 8 cucumbers need to be on a trellis. They don't really do well unless the trellis is there immediately when they start getting a couple of inches tall, have something there they can start to grip a hold to. I think they'll do all right. Now, as far as my crop here goes, I still have a ways to go. I need to get it through July and get it into August, and probably mid-August I hope to be having a harvest then. Your climate might be a little bit different. A little more moderate climate, I think, is helpful for these cucumbers. Middle of the summer, they are just so hard to keep going. And I do have to water them. Even with the rain, I still put a little water on them in the mornings just to give them that bump start to get going. And the good thing about the sun is it does dry out the leaves rather quickly. The plant in the middle, I'm not so sure it's going to make it, but we'll see. And the one tip I wanted to leave with you is when you're growing, insurance is always great. As I've mentioned, these straight 8 cucumbers here are really a little bit dicey at this point. I think one of them is going to do fine. The other two, I'm not so sure about. So I've gone ahead and planted 2 more mounds of the straight 8 cucumbers. One is here and one is down there in the middle. And as insurance, I hope those do come out and maybe take over if I have a catastrophic failure here, but we will see. Mother Nature sometimes has her own rules. Well, I hope this video has given you some tips on how to stagger your plantings and try to get the most out of one growing season. And some areas, I understand, are not going to get 2 seasons, or lucky to get 1 season with the short number of growing days that's available. But if you live in the middle tier of the United States or the southern tier, and the temperatures are not too brutal, you may be able to get that second and that third crop out. There's no reason why I couldn't maybe stretch this to get a 4th crop, be picking some cucumbers here in late September, early October, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that because I think we'll be full up on cucumbers by then. But I do appreciate you watching, and if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below if you have some tips for me, or if there's some experience you've had with bringing in multiple crops in one growing season. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.